Well, hello and welcome to the DC UK podcast. This is season 4 and episode 12, and we are live at the Screaming Eagles tailgate. So, welcome everyone. It is awesome, and for the first time ever, sat to my lovely left is Daniel Wise in person. How are you doing?
Oh, James, this is the best weekend ever. I cannot believe this is happening. This is incredible.
It is awesome, isn't it? I mean, you've obviously flown in from South Dakota. I've flown in from England,
And that's sort of the thing. If it was just me,
yeah,
I would be dubbed like the hardest core DC United fan coming in from South Dakota. But you got me beat by a
few thousand miles. Yeah,
a couple.
Yeah,
I want to say a couple, but whatever. This is everything I've wanted this weekend to be, and I love it.
It is fantastic. And over to your left is Tom, who's come in from maybe a couple of miles, maybe.
I took a 15-minute Uber, and yeah, I mean traffic was bad, but I didn't have to get in a plane.
Yeah,
I'm very excited to be here. This is crazy.
It
I
is.
see so many huge fans of DC United. Excited to see the guys. First time in person.
Yeah,
we are here. A quick
cheers.
A quick cheers.
Cheers
to the pod.
You've got to look at each other in the eye as well when you cheers.
Oh, yeah,
Come on,
yeah.
yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Hi.
Cheers.
Hello.
Cheers.
Hi.
Cheers.
Good to meet you.
Oh, and we've got our first guest.
No, I came here.
I mean, I would turn the camera around, but unfortunately it's stuck on the chair there. But Devin, why don't you come on down?
I will get up and leave. I do not deserve that.
There he is. Look at him saying hello.
Hey. No,
I
mean, say hi.
Look at that.
I mean, we gotta have your silky, lovely voice
Oh well, no, that's Dave
on the
Johnson.
pod.
That's
Like,
Dave.
Dave is a different kind of cut, but you are. I mean, you're the man. You're
You
DC
are the
royalty.
Yeah.
You are part of the pantheon.
All right, man.
I mean, are you trying to inflate his ego anymore here? Jeez.
Oh.
No.
Hey, good to see you.
It is awesome, isn't
Wait,
it?
Are we live right now?
We are live. We are live on
This is
YouTube.
happening.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. All right, good to know.
Yeah, it's
I don't like live TV.
really.
Yeah.
No,
my
it never
phone
comes across.
situation. Yeah. Honest truth. Let's record everything, and then
Yeah.
we take out the bad parts.
I mean, that's it, isn't it? You just record the games, and then we don't actually watch it live. We're just in another universe watching it, aren't we?
Why would you watch it live?
Exactly.
It's. Well, no
I mean, I don't-
wonder
I
it's
don't-
like 3 in the morning.
I don't stay up till 3 a.m. watching DC United every
Yeah.
week. I mean, I genuinely do.
Yeah.
And I watch you guys on the DC United website week in, week out. It is fantastic, and I just can't thank you guys enough for bringing so much goodness to the game.
I can't believe you watch it, man.
I've got to, man. I've got to.
We love it.
It's-
We love it.
and-
A little love in the UK.
Yeah, there's quite a few of us now in the UK who
I
are,
know.
which is awesome. And we've got people in the DC UK group who are from Belgium. We had someone from Brazil who's now left because he went to support the Revs.
Ooh.
It was a weird one.
That was a strange one.
He was like, "Well, I support."
He supports all the New England teams.
And I was like, "Okay."
That was a bit strange in itself, but you know he's gone into pastures new.
We made up for it because we brought on a new supporter group member from Australia.
Yeah. So we've got down
Brisbane,
under
if that's right.
Adelaide. Alex and Adelaide.
Okay.
Yeah.
Isn't it? It's Adelaide, isn't it? Is it?
Probably.
Yeah.
Isn't that how they pronounce it? Adelaide.
I don't know.
I'm not sure.
I just know they might put shrimp on the Barbie.
They're all flat out like a lizard drinking. That's it. That's the
I mean,
only
they're
other way.
I just think they all hang upside down, don't they, down there?
I worked at a butcher shop with a guy from Australia,
You went
so
with
that's
the
the only other
Sorry?
You went with
like,
the road?
term I know.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
man.
yeah. It's rather nice. It's the first time I've had it.
Yeah.
Actually, I might have had it the last time I was here, like 3 years ago.
Yeah.
But it's good. It's good stuff, that. I do like my IPAs. I'm an IPA. Yeah. No.
What are we talking about?
So what's like a bigger pressure point? Is it lining up in the starting 11 or being on camera in front of a national and international
International.
audience?
Yes, international. Come on.
I mean, we're global. We got Australia.
Yeah.
Australia, you've got Belgium.
So where
We get
do the
shout-outs from like Argentina too.
what gives you the bigger butterflies then?
It's a good question, by the way. No one's ever asked me that.
Oh.
So I appreciate that. lining up.
You and Dave are my heroes.
Lining up to play. Lining up to play 100%. The reason being is you can actually just like block everything else out and just be like, two guys in a pub watching a soccer game.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And while you still can do that when you're playing, it's a little more difficult when people are yelling at you.
Yeah.
And,
they might say something you don't like or agree with, and
that sort of
yeah.
So I would say in the starting 11.
Now, okay, so let me take this a step further. Could you, in a way, like if you had like an auditorium full of, the biggest DC United heads, just in a live audience, could you do that? Could you line up and be able to just, take whatever question or give whatever insights you have about the team? Yeah.
I love how quick you were with the answer. Yes.
Can we just get in the Kennedy Center? Is that the next step? We get in the Kennedy Center, and then we have a little, audience dialogue with.
How many would be in the audience?
I will let you pick that one.
I'll work on it.
They've got like a closet there we could hang out in.
For sure.
I mean, that would be a pretty big closet, I would imagine. There.
Yeah. No, absolutely. I mean, no. That if as long as I know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Then I feel, and not to say that I know what I'm talking about because I don't, but that like relieves some stress.
Yeah.
For me, right?
Yeah.
Like it's a matter that I focus on a lot, probably too much. DC United. And so I'm comfortable talking about it.
Yeah.
Like, we're talking like astrophysics, stuff like that. Then,
Yeah.
Or algebra.
Did you have a college major? What was your?
Yeah, no, I did. So don't laugh. It was a geography. And I'll tell you why.
Okay.
Yeah.
Don't ask me the state capitals because that's not what it was about. So I studied geography and studied urban planning, which is one reason why I love DC so much.
Yeah.
Because it's thought out.
Yeah.
With bike lanes, focused on pedestrians, and this took a turn that you guys were completely bored with. But
I'm genuinely intrigued.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
Do you have any other questions? I feel like
I mean, this is literally just. I just saw you turn up there. I'm like, what the heck? So
honestly, they don't ever invite me unless you're here.
Yeah, that's it. I need to come here more often then, don't I?
I know.
Yeah.
I don't know
should make it a monthly thing.
Kim here, I see him every game, and he never mentions that I should swing by.
If someone can swing a weekly flight plan for me, I would come every single weekend, of course.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, I mean, I would love to be here more often. I mean, this, like I said, third time since 2018 that I've been able to get here, and each time it's been phenomenal. I love this city; it's so good. I mean, apart from this heat, I mean, I'm not used to this heat in the UK. We don't get it this hot or this humid. It's rare.
Fact is, I lived here for about 10 years before moving back to South Dakota around 2019, and 3 years on, like I come back here and I still know all the bus lines, all the metro. Like it's incredible, just all the feelings that come back. And like, man, I love this city, and this is just a cherry on top doing this.
I grew up with about an hour and a half from here, right? So like this is a town coming to this is a club that I came to go watch at RFK.
Yeah.
And we'd orange line it in every now and then. Sometimes we'd go a little bit early and tailgate. And then my sister moved to Capitol Hill, so then that made like life a little bit easier for us when we wanted to come into a game because pick her up, pick up stuff at Eastern Market. So the fact that, and I say that because everything is in the city, right? Like the football team, which Washington football team. Wait, Commanders.
It's Commanders now, is there? Yes.
I apologize. That was not a slight. I just don't like that experience because you don't get the city environment around it. It's not like an experience going to it. It's a bad experience in my opinion going to it because you gotta trek out to land, and it's not great. But I always just grew up loving to come to DC, and I mean you can see the Capitol from Audi Field, you can see Capitol from RFK, and so it's more than soccer.
Yeah. That is the thing. As someone who has been out of FedEx Field, it is about a walk from like the parking lot to the stadium. It's probably waterfront to about where we're at right now. It is a jaunt.
I've heard it's a bit of a trek to get there. Yeah. I just want to quickly shout out. We've actually got Emma, who is our Belgian representative. She's just joined in on the show,
Belgium.
just saying, "Hey guys!" So
fun fact, Belgium. I did a trial at Bruges for 2 weeks.
Oh,
And
what?
Awesome.
When did this happen?
Whoa, no, we gotta.
no, we don't have time for that. So I was very naive, 21-year-old. Anyway, someone told me, they're like, Bruges. I said, yeah. And they're like, okay. And I was like, yeah, well, I have a trial over there. And the city, I mean, we could talk about the club.
Yeah.
We can talk about the club.
Yeah.
Obviously, I didn't sign for them. But
Really?
the city was, I mean, goodness me, it was gorgeous. And I
Really?
was there in January.
Oh,
When it
wow.
was freezing cold and
Yeah.
it was like 6 hours of daylight. So I don't know where she's at in Belgium.
Ostend is where she's at.
Okay.
So she's a good friend of Andy Nahar. And she was here last month.
Heard of him.
So, yeah. Andy Nahar, he's an okay player, I've heard.
Yeah. No, yeah.
I mean, you know, yeah.
That's a little bit of history.
Yeah.
Okay.
If he gets in form, he might start a game.
Yeah.
Maybe.
I
But
heard he has good potential.
oh wow. I'm just in the comments. My mum's watching. So hello, mother.
Mum.
My mum. I know. No, I
Mama
said my
Graham,
mum.
I love it.
In the north of England, it's
We
my
have a lot
mum.
of Peppa Pig in my house. So
Oh
I'll say
no.
mum too.
Oh.
Yeah, I apologize. The kids pick up the English accent.
Yeah.
Peppa Pig, so,
I apologize.
yeah. Anyway, but-
Peppa Pig. That's
dude,
all
I
right.
dig the cherry blossom.
Thank you.
Yeah.
These
Yeah,
actually were designed by myself. I made these, and they are available on. There should be a link in the description, but bit.ly/DC UK Cherry. You can actually pick up this one,
You dig it.
which is fantastic.
If Adidas needs any designers,
I think they do. To be fair,
that's a whole nother conversation.
yes, I had that conversation with Rory yesterday. Rory Mieda, which is the bonus episode. If you've not seen that, came out this morning. So
He's a good dude.
he's a very good dude. Yeah. So we've got two other interviews to play on the show today. We've got Sean Howe.
Oh yeah, okay.
I spoke to him yesterday, and Tony Alfaro.
Oh nice. Wait, he's going before the game?
I saw him yesterday.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
So
Yeah, nice.
we got a few questions in, and really good guy.
Nice. Yeah.
So
Well, I should have come prepared for questions for you, but I didn't. I just got a call from Jimmy, just said come swing by. So
Yeah?
I did, and,
yeah, why not? Absolutely.
nice to see you guys.
Yeah, indeed.
This is great. Thank
Yeah.
you so
Oh,
much.
I don't need to go.
Oh, you don't need to go.
Oh,
you're not like
Dave.
you're not like Dave then. You're not royal. Not that kind of royalty then, like Dave. Sorry, man.
Probably head out. I'll let
You probably
guys
should.
get back to it.
Thank
Unless
you. Have a good one.
Yeah,
Absolutely
enjoy the,
appreciate it.
I'm glad they kicked the kickoff a little bit later.
Definitely, because it is sweltering right now.
I am. You know what? Hey, here's the thing. You get to get right in.
I don't even want to.
You're sitting in the place where royalty.
I mean, we've
Like
I can
we
quit now,
had
right?
we've just had Dave Johnson come down and visit and say hello.
This is incredible. This is. Wow.
I mean, we probably should actually get on with the actual show now, shouldn't
I
we?
was sitting on the side there, and I was like, "This is great. I don't even need to be here."
You're just watching nicely and intently, and
I
it's
was
just
like, "This is
yeah.
fantastic."
I mean, we've just had a
This is
few people coming and watching, which is awesome. Devon's just an
This is-
amazing guy.
gonna be unreal. Like watching DC United broadcasts from now. Because, like, literally, I will be seeing Devin and Dave on TV, and I'm like, I touched them.
Wow,
Don't say that.
that's the that's. Can you rephrase
I
that,
shook
please?
their hand.
You shook their hands.
Yes, I shook.
We
their
had
hand.
a photo with Dave.
I
Should ever
was-
end with, "I touched
I
them."
was within embracing distance of Devin. I fully embraced Dave today. So, like,
Yeah,
Yeah, that was great.
I mean, I have a wedding coming up in
you do.
3 weeks.
So let me ask you this then.
But
Well,
yeah,
what's more-
No.
Let me ask you
And-
this: what's going to be better,
Oh,
meeting
the,
Dave?
the wedding by far. Like, I know where you're going, but, like, seriously,
Trying
like,
to catch 'em.
this whole span of time is unreal to me because I've been a weird ball of emotion coming back to DC and here, take the mic, and I'm gonna just
You're just going to sit back and relax a little.
for
Right.
a second.
Well, let's actually get on with the actual proper
Let's-
show,
let's
which
get going.
let me just get onto another page because this is the guest DC Who bit, and I need to get the
Look at
clues
his
up.
phone.
No, you're not looking at my phone.
Okay.
Look at his
I
phone.
need to go onto Wikipedia, because that's where all the facts are.
Yep.
Oh, yep. It's still left them on there.
I did
Fantastic.
all my college papers.
Right. Hang on.
Sorry, Towson.
Emma's just said you're fangirling.
This is wild.
Right. Let me get the graphic up on screen.
Okay.
There we go. I mean, obviously, the people who are here can't actually see this, but
Oh.
for those at home, so this is the dude, and I'm gonna give you some facts about him.
Okay.
I'm not gonna give you many facts because it makes it that bit more difficult.
Okay.
I think I already know who it is.
So this guy was born in Argentina. He's small. He's had 2 spells at DC United. So he started his career off in Argentina. He then moved to DC United.
Look it up. Look up the answer.
I'm not going to give. He's telling people to look it up in the audience. Come on. So he's had 2 spells at DC United, and he played. I was going to do some quick maths here. 124 times, scoring 45 goals.
Okay.
He sounds relatively
And
important.
he's a midfielder.
Oh man, I feel like I saw this name the other day, and
It's a tricky one, isn't it?
it's gonna
Because
be
a small Argentinian. It could be.
Yeah.
It could be a few people.
Yep.
So, any initial thoughts? Do you want to say any initials out
Did we
there?
ever have Maradona?
Did Maradona play for us?
We did not have Maradona. Although, I was like, when Dave was talking about the diplomat days, I was like, yeah, the Cruyff era.
Yes. I mean, you were just like, I've got to get that one in there.
I gotta get my knowledge in. I gotta be legit for this.
Honestly, you fangirled hard with Dev there, but you fangirled even harder with Dev.
Thank God that wasn't on camera.
It was embarrassing.
I had to center myself as he's walking up to the entrance.
I mean, just whilst I do apologize. There is a helicopter just there. I mean, it's bright out here, so I apologise for the noise if you hear it on camera, on the mic. But anyway, what were you saying, Daniel?
No, we were out front because Tom got the notification that Dave was 5 minutes out.
Yep.
And we walk out, and Dave is coming in hot,
Yeah.
sprinting.
He was, to be fair, he really was putting the medal to the bell.
I had to turn my back to him because I was hyperventilating.
You were.
My man, my best man Ray over here was like, Dan, you gotta get yourself under control because this is gonna be really embarrassing. I was like, okay, I've got it, I'm good, and I came in for a very normal handshake. It was incredibly normal, totally okay.
How sweaty was it?
The only time I was sweatier is when I was holding hands with Adrian right before I proposed to her.
So pretty sweaty then.
Pretty sweaty.
Yeah. Right. We're going to move on to some of the news and some of the talking points before we fangirl any harder right now. So obviously this week is the last of the 3-game week. We've had it pretty rough the last 7 days. And it was, who did we have last week? And I've lost track now. Was that Houston last week? Or was that previous?
No, Houston was the week prior. Then we had Miami last.
That was it, Miami,
weekend.
Which was our first tie of the season.
2-2.
Here's the thing. There are a lot of tea leaves that could be read about these games. And I would say you need to read further into it because you have 2 teams that are incredibly attack-oriented with Campana coming in with Miami, Castellanos with NYCFC. Those dudes are very slippery forwards. And for a certain extent, New York, played a really nice kind of shadow striker or kind of leading man who would draw in the defense. Pines got caught in the wash, and in that first goal, Castellanos came in, got a really brilliant header off an early cross, and it just is what it is. New York played a very solid tactical game there.
Yeah. Just before we move on to Tom's comments about the last week, if you've got any questions you want us to answer on the show, please do let us know, whether it's in the chat or anyone else around.
We enjoy the questions.
We do enjoy the questions.
If you need a beer recommendation,
okay.
Rogue Gumberu West Coast India Pale Ale. I am not a pale ale fan
I love it.
by
Good
any
pale ale.
I
means.
should have
Yeah.
taken that one.
But this is really good, and I'm digging this.
I mean, this one I've got is Rogue as well, so
Yep.
Rogue Brewery. But this has got Dead Guy Ale.
Okay.
What's the strength on yours?
It says 12 FLOZ.
That's a fluid ounce.
Oh,
This is such a middle-aged man
it says
conversation.
ALK and then a percentage.
6.8.
Oh, we're on the same.
Okay.
And
okay.
Tom, what are you drinking?
I am drinking a sour. Dogfish Head, which is one of my favorite breweries.
Yeah.
I have no idea what the content is, though, because they don't have it on the
Oh,
can.
come here. Pass it here.
All right, if you find it.
James a pro. He's English. He knows.
Yeah, I mean, I drink beer for a living. It is 4.9%.
Huh.
Weak.
James, I
I've
have
just
a
been
question.
heavily offended.
Well, you were talking about how Americanized you are earlier. So,
It's true.
This is true.
It is true.
but so fun fact. I have to throw Ray under the bus for a second. But
Whoa! Ray's just
have you
he's
had-
just shocked.
have you had any familiarity with the Geico Gecko here in America?
Oh.
And has anyone ever told you that you sound like him?
What?
Yes.
What?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No and no
Yes.
is the answer.
For sure.
Come on, give us a Geico
Is
preview.
it the accent or what is it?
Yeah, it's the accent.
Really? Wow.
But it's funny because
Identical.
the
I need to watch the Geico adverts then.
well, and the rationale I had was that you have you're a Midlands guy, and
I'm
I
not
wanna
Midlands. Don't swear at me.
Say, and
I'm from the northeast.
I wa-
I've just lost my accent a little bit. Jeez.
so I want to say
You might as well call me a
would-
Sunderland fan.
No, so the way I ration
They did. I'm
that was an
absolutely
incredible
fuming.
game.
I'm fuming. I really didn't want them to get promoted. No. When it- yeah, no.
That I was just like, oh, I already know what's going to happen. They're going to fail because that's what they've done for the past 3 seasons.
I mean, it's been a bit longer than that. They've been in free fall for a while, but
So my rationale is that in terms of the English dialect, I was like, he's probably kind of like us Midwesterners, where unless you're from Michigan, you got that how you betcha type of thing going on.
I actually explained this
That-
to my friends the other day.
That it might be so nondescript that it's like one of those general accents
Okay.
that you can't put a button on it, except for the fact that the voice, I forget his name right now, but he's a character on EastEnders, and he's from West London of all
Yeah,
places.
yeah.
So,
I mean, there's many characters on EastEnders who've been in the show over the many years it's been on.
So how I explained this? So I have a friend named Johnny who's from Newcastle.
Yep.
And my roommate Jose was asking me, how do they do the accents? Like, what is their West Virginia?
Yep.
I said, all you need
Okay.
to do is you need to take.
Jake Wood.
Let's have a look.
Is the actor.
Actor Jake. Oh, him. Wow.
You just
You think I sound like him? If my wife is watching, just look up Jake Wood. You know exactly who we're on about.
Okay, I need you to say this, James, real quick.
Go on.
15 minutes can save you 15%.
15 minutes can save you 15%.
Let's do a contract. Let's do a contract right now.
Right. Okay. So we've just had a few more comments coming in on the chat there. My mum's going, get them told.
get them told.
Get them told. I'm from the north.
Yeah,
I'm
okay.
not from the
Yeah,
Midlands.
so what you do is if you take England, right, and you turn it on its side,
Right.
and then you put it from the east coast of America over. That is how the accents work.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So are you saying turn it on its side
So
as
the more
in?
north you are, the more Midwest you are.
Okay.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
Whereas you're London, unless you're from South London,
You
then
were
you're
right. Like
then
you're
from Philly.
southeast. Yeah.
You're from Philly.
That's all I know. Everything I've learned from London is from a Guy Ritchie movie. So Lock,
Don't
Stock, and Two
don't take
Smoking
that too
Barrels.
seriously. Let's put it that way.
You should see Top Boy. That's a whole different one.
Right. And
Oh, we have.
we have more people coming to join us. Brian, who is a DC UK member, has just come in and joined
Brian,
us.
Of course.
Brian is there. Frank is over here as well, who is the fan of the match as well.
No Red Bull, no Chelsea.
Yeah. Brian is actually wearing his DC UK top as well, so that's awesome. And I just want to shout out to another James. There's many Jameses over here, who is one of my work colleagues.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
So thank you, James, for actually tuning in and watching the show. Right. Anyway, actual podcast stuff rather than talking about flipping accents.
Here's the thing. I mean, look, I think, and this is what I love about our podcast is that, you know, you can go straight on with the DC United, but I think what's
we need
great about
tangents.
us, we got a little bit of jazz going on. We can go a little bit. I mean, that's what football
Jazz
is,
hands?
right? It's jazz.
Is it?
Yes.
Really?
That's why I literally don't prepare for
That's
these.
literally how John Cleese puts it, is that football is jazz. And I think if you're going to have a proper football podcast, you gotta have a little bit of that. Let's go left field. Let's go right field.
You want to have facts, but you also want to have content.
Exactly.
So David's just tweeted out. He tweeted out a couple of. Look at that. So I'm just going to put it up to the camera. Look at that.
Oh, you can't see it.
That is all of us. Yeah,
Awesome.
check Dave's Twitter account, which is at Dave J Sports. What an absolute legend he is. He came down, spoke to us for about 10-15 minutes actually,
He
and
stuck around. I thought he was literally.
it was going to be a flyby, wasn't it?
When he
Yeah.
told me, he was like, "I'm just going to come, like, say hi,
Yep.
great." And then, he came into the Screaming Eagles tailgate.
Yeah.
Well, there
I
was
met a lot of us, and it was.
So I want to say there was a woman here who kind of grabbed him and brought him out here, and she's like I would say she's a bigger Dave Johnson super fan than I am, and she
was, yeah.
She brought him in.
She didn't fangirl like you did, though.
Yeah.
No, I
hate to tell you.
I don't mean to bring up old wounds, but I'm a Dave Ariola
Dave Ariola. Who's he?
I'm a Paul Ariola guy. I wear my heart on my sleeve, and I never, I can't hide how I feel.
We're holding tryouts for a new person on the podcast.
Yeah.
By the way,
Guys who can actually get players' names right. Anyway,
we're shipping this guy back to South Dakota.
he's not a true DC guy.
No, not at all.
Oh.
He's more of a DC guy than I am. Let's be honest.
I mean, if you're actually new to the show, Tom, you were born in England, weren't you?
Yeah, I was born right outside Manchester.
Yeah, and you're a Manchester. So you were born outside of Manchester.
Yeah.
So you're one of those Manchester United fans
Yeah.
who actually aren't from Manchester.
Yeah.
Yeah. You really aren't doing the stereotype any good there, right?
No.
Wait,
I have no shame.
so what is your actual birth town?
That's around Sheffield.
Sheffield. You're in Yorkshire, not Lancashire. Just outside Manchester.
Okay, it's kind of outside Manchester.
It's way outside Manchester.
How are you not a Sabres man?
No, I could not do that to myself.
What about Sheffield Wednesday or Sheffield United?
Okay,
Yeah,
first
that's
of all,
true.
Sheffield Wednesday, absolutely not.
Why not?
Never. It just makes me
Sean
think-
Bean would be so mad at you saying that.
Sean Bean is neighbors with my mom's best friend. And
No,
he is-
really?
What?
He's an absolute alcoholic. I didn't say it.
He did all the adverts for the previous company I used to work for. And I mean, he was probably chunky. I mean, it sounds like it was like, well, better.
So
connected.
the story that my mom's best friend told us was that he comes out in his robe, like holding
What?
Yeah,
What? He was holding what?
he was holding a bottle of something, and he used to just be constant. Yeah,
Oh, wow.
He seems like a Bushmills man.
yeah. It's in Kensington.
Oh man.
Yeah, so it's a nice part of London.
Yep.
Yeah.
And yeah, he just sort of goes around and then gets his head cut off in Game of Thrones. Wow. Yeah.
It's a
Right.
small world.
It is.
Yeah. That's my 6 degrees of separation.
There you
from-
go. From Sean Bean. I mean, isn't it actually 6 degrees of separation from Kevin Bacon?
I mean, I'm sure with Sean Bean in the mix, I think this is where I am right now.
Yeah, it's fair. It is. Yeah, I mean, to be fair. Absolutely. I mean, my 6 degrees of separation to Sean Bean is the fact that he, like I said, he did the adverts for the company I used to work for.
Oh, there you go.
There you go. Anyway, DC United stuff.
Yeah,
Um,
finally.
we probably should talk about actual soccer. I've got to say soccer now that I'm in America.
Sure.
Can't say the F word. So, as we mentioned earlier, it's the last of the 3-game week. We've gone into an international break. But more recently, and especially today, Marco Echeverri gets inducted into the
Incredible.
National Hall of Fame, which is about bloody time.
Yeah, it was a long time coming. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
El Diablo is a big reason why I am incredibly disappointed that I wasn't an early DC United supporter. But
All right.
to be fair, I was 10 years old when DC United had their first
No
kickoff.
excuse.
But I mean, Freddie Adu, I remember
Yes.
subscribing to Kids Illustrated or Kids Sports Illustrated, and
I was going to say Kids Illustrated sounds like another kind of magazine. And we're not going down that road.
Rails. This is my I'm sorry, folks. This is my last episode of the DC United Kingdom podcast. But yeah, no, Freddie Adu was definitely the first time I became aware of MLS and DC United. But then U.S. men's national team Colby Jones, Alexi Lalas, definitely. It's the hair, and I'm always a hair guy.
And the beards.
Well, and
I mean, and in terms of Alexi's goatee.
If we're talking about hair, if we're talking about hair, Marco definitely gets in the hair Hall of Fame, that.
Actually,
incredible.
So if you've watched the bonus episode this morning, if not, do go and watch it. So I had Rory Maeda on. I interviewed him yesterday. He's gone the mullet route.
Good.
I'm cool. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
I mean, we did talk about it before we did the actual interview. I know.
Trying to get him to cut it off.
I mean, I did say we're not in the 80s anymore.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. It's. I mean,
but
business at the front, party at the back.
He's in a position where it's you want to have something defining that people are going to notice.
Yeah.
You definitely notice it.
Yeah.
And here's the thing: if you're an admin guy, I mean, most people I think in that position, you kind of consider that a little bit plain, a little bit, unknown. But I think Maeda, he's a guy who is
to me, he's an absolute legend.
He is DC United to the core, and I love everything about him. And I support it.
Yeah, he's an absolute great guy. So if you do get the opportunity to go and watch it, please do. We had some great chats. We had the Audi Field roof might have been mentioned.
What, finishing the roof?
No, he mentioned the roof, and I said, whoa, we don't talk about the roof. There's one rule of Audi Field Club, and we don't talk about the roof. It's not that it's not completed; it's just not finished. And we put it on a positive spin. We talked about obviously the game today against Toronto. Obviously the fact that they're on a bit of a bad streak at the moment, but we'll talk about that in a moment. But yeah, it's a really great interview. So please, have you guys seen it yet?
I have not.
No.
I'm gonna watch it.
This is your last episode.
Oh god.
So if you want to come and join the DC United Kingdom podcast, please send an email to me or drop me a message on Twitter or Facebook.
Send him
Yeah.
DM and just say, "Ever need a guest?"
Yeah, you'll get called. You'll get called a guest for 8
That's
episodes.
literally what I did.
My excuse is I've had the entire DC atmosphere imported back into my brain, and so it's one of those things. If you take too much at one time, it can melt.
Yeah.
So that's
But
where I'm
how awesome is it that all three of us are actually here at a Screaming Eagles tailgate with an app? I mean, you can't really see it on the camera because it's too bright, but
There's water behind us.
there is water. We've got boats going past. We've got the bridge in the background. It is just what a day! What a time to be alive!
And if memory serves me correctly, DC General is just right down the way there. So I imagine wherever that helicopter was, that was coming straight over there.
Yeah.
And from my council days, I remember that was a big bugaboo about the fact that helicopters were too loud.
I mean, that was pretty loud.
That is incredibly loud.
Yeah.
But going by the apartment complexes, people are very bothered about that.
Right. Moving on from helicopters to shipping plays abroad on helicopters. See what I've done there?
That's good.
A good segue. International call-ups. Obviously, we're coming into an international break where we've got like 3 weeks between matches now, so they've got a bit of a break. International call-ups. So Flores has been called up to Peru.
Where he excels.
I mean, that's where he really plays well.
That's his best team.
Yeah. Estrada's been called up to the Ecuadorian national team.
Nice.
Taxi's in the Greek team, which is no surprise at all after his form since he's joined the club. And in the provisional squads, Brad Smith is in the Australian squad.
Nice.
Which he's
They have a playoff coming up.
Yeah, they really actually, yeah. And Ola Kamara's in the Norwegian squad.
Brilliant.
I mean, he's not going to start when you've got Erling Haaland.
We don't speak at that name anymore.
Oh, what's wrong about Haaland, Tom? Is it because he's joined the best team in Manchester?
Yes.
Here's the thing: as an Arsenal fan, I every season my default is like, yeah, I'm just happy for whoever else, gets to enjoy glory. Like I'm genuinely happy for Liverpool and or Manchester United.
Frank is cheering because he is a Liverpool fan right now. Are they going to win the Champions League?
Those guys, it's like next year's our year. This
We've got to hope so.
Year is our year. As an Arsenal fan,
are you going to finish in the top 4? Or Spurs going to Spurs it?
I mean, here's the thing: Spurs have Norwich. Unless they completely lose their minds.
Hang on. Let's put it this way.
Okay.
Teams who generally are relegated have nothing to play for, so they tend to play better.
Yeah. And hey, here's the thing. If Norwich can gift us a St. Totteringham's Day, I would be elated.
So in terms of Spurs, I've not actually looked at the table recently. How far ahead of you in the table are they?
So here's the thing: they are 2 points. They are 2 points ahead.
What's the goal difference? This is
14. No, it's only 14. So Arsenal has 14. Tottenham has 28. So
all right, okay.
Like, a tie is that's
it's not going to work then. Yeah. Okay, fair enough. I just thought I'd ask the question.
No, that's fun. No. You just have to. You have to make sure you don't get into the playoffs.
You're in the ECL. You're in the Europa Conference League right now.
I'm gonna have to go and watch games in Kazakhstan. It's gonna be crazy.
Have fun.
Oh, good. I'm gonna love it.
Yeah.
And you can't look. No hate to the refugees, to anyone else. But here's the thing: we bring a lot of different soccer spice to our show.
Yeah.
And this is what you get with the DC United Kingdom podcast. This is great.
Yeah. Moving on. I'm going to move it swiftly on because we don't want it to be taking up everyone's time. We've got a stadium to get to, haven't we? To be fair, I've not had lunch yet. I had breakfast.
We're 3 ADHD guys. That's.
I mean, I'm not ADHD. You can keep that to yourself. Yeah, you are. Yeah. Anyway. Obviously, today's game has been pushed back.
Yep.
Yes, thank God for that because it is a bit warm, to say the least. I mean, I want to say it's about 34 degrees Celsius, whatever that is in Fahrenheit. It is definitely not English of you. Very right, Brian.
I want to say it's a balmy 93.
Oh, I'd say it's more than that. I think it's 95, 96.
As look, this is.
How cool would it actually be to be 96?
Brag, but as someone who's been to Dubai,
it's a 93.
93.
There you go.
I can call it. Gosh, Dubai is like the hottest place I've ever been, and that cooks you.
Yeah.
You can't spend more than a minute outside, otherwise you are making big mistakes.
Yeah, absolutely. The other thing
back on to DC United.
Yeah, back on the only thing I want to touch on. And I've noticed there's a guy who's got a Wolfsburg football. Paredes was back in the DMV this week.
Did you see me gasp when he walked by? I was like, oh, it's Paredes. It's a Paredes jersey.
Somebody said this morning maybe put it back on the side.
Yes, yeah. It would be amazing if he could have just sneak on the pitch.
Snuck him in?
Yeah. I mean, we've tried it before in the game against Atlanta back in 2019 when we tried to sneak Knaus on the pitch, but that was picked up. I mean, whoever didn't put him on the bench. We had a spare place for him on the bench as well. But we just didn't put him out there, so,
See, Berhalter mentioned in the press conference for the U.S. men's national team.
What, Knaus? Oh, Kevin! Wow. Okay.
That's nuts.
He's
If you didn't hear that, Brian was just saying that Kevin's been mentioned in a press conference. Yeah, as a
Nice,
future
okay.
player. Yeah.
I'm cool with that.
So Berhalter is mentioning Paredes as a future player for the US men's national team, which he absolutely deserves.
Yeah, I just wanted to play more for Wolfsburg. Like I wanted to get
I-
more minutes.
yeah.
I mean, we've obviously talked about it in the DC UK chat
Talked a lot
about
it.
yeah. I think we were all agreed that it was a season too soon for him to go,
Yeah.
or if he was going to move, we should have got a loan back for the year because
Yeah.
at the moment he's being wasted and he needs that game time to develop properly.
I'm of a different mind. I think if you are taking a kid from Virginia and putting him into a Bundesliga top club, I think having him there to sort of get ingratiated into the culture,
Yep.
Because I think Wolfsburg sees a ton of potential in him.
Yep. Oh, yeah.
And I think you want a kid like that, teach him German, get him into the culture, get him set into whichever clique exists in the team where he can fit in.
Yeah.
That's what you want.
Yeah.
Whether there's a loan spell in the future, I would be more than happy for that.
I would love that.
It's super important for a kid at that age to get put into the club. So I don't subscribe to that season too early thing.
Okay, fair enough. I mean, for me, you're right, getting into the culture and everything, but as a player, as a person who should be developing at his young age, he needs to be having games. He's at that age where he needs that game time to develop.
We're also a bit biased.
I mean, yeah, absolutely, yep.
Oh,
Is your arm killing you?
thank you, dear.
Yeah, I was like, oh, I should probably hold this for a bit.
I mean, all you need to do is just rest your elbow on your
We
leg.
don't have arms that big. Look,
Oh, yeah, sorry.
I got a situation going on.
Giant.
I've done this. I've done this for a long time now.
I literally.
I did a full season freehand.
Yeah, you did.
I actually did a full
That's
season freehand
absurd.
with this microphone.
Anyway,
It's heavy.
on Paredes. I would say the one thing that was good about him being over there early is that he's got John Brooks there.
Yeah, so he has got someone to relate to.
He's got someone that can take him under the wing and be like.
But John Brooks is moving.
Yeah.
Which
is probably why he's good a year early.
That's why he's not in the US men's national team.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's the official line.
Yes, the official line. But at least he got that chance to be with them for a bit.
Yeah, absolutely. Right. Unfortunately, we come to the time of the show where we need to talk about the last game.
I'm good.
I'm fine with it.
Okay. Right. So midweek, I think a lot of people have come across about the fact that it's we played well against New York City, and we were just unlucky, especially in the first half where we hit the post twice.
Brad Smith, man, he had a game. I want to say between him and Jafal, they had a heck of a connection going on.
Yeah, Jafal is
was
amazing.
Incredible.
I've been a big fan of Jafal this season, naturally.
Yeah.
Those Frenchmen know how to long ball. They really do.
And I spoke with Sean, who we will see the interview in a short while. We talked about actually what is the process behind picking players from the Super Draft, and you get to know a little bit more about that. And Jafal was actually one of the top players on our list. It's just the fact that he takes up an international slot, which is so valuable right now. It's the fact that he was so low down. So absolutely, he was on our radar, and it was great to sign him. But going on sort of the stats about that game, I normally bring it up on screen, but I'm not going to do it because I forgot.
I love it.
I mean, I've had more important things to do over these last few days.
You've had a busy few days.
I've had a busy few days, yeah. Flying thousands of miles, interviewing people.
I mean, my 15-minute Uber was pretty rough. I gotta be honest. I'll tell you about it later, though.
Yeah.
I sprint walked on the way here. Like, I had to rush Ray during his bathroom break. I was like, dude, we gotta go.
You just gotta go
now.
When you gotta go, you gotta go.
And then I'm like walking here. I'm using my scarf, like, you know how you're like on an elliptical. I'm like going like ha 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 ha.
It helped, man.
Yeah,
it helped.
Really
it really did. So, in terms of the previous game, I'm just reading off my phone here. So, obviously, we got beat 2-0. Possession-wise, it was 44.3 to 55.7 possession in New York City's favour. Shots 8 to 12. On target, we did not hit the target at all.
Yeah.
Which is, yes, we hit the post twice.
But yeah, off target.
Yeah. We had 2 offsides to their 0. We committed 14 fouls to their 11, so pretty even on that side. And in terms of expected goals, it was 0.6 to 1.7. And when I met up with James Lambert last night, we were talking in the car. The Kamara, so the Brad Smith attempt.
Yep.
Kamara had a much more golden opportunity to actually put that in the net,
truly
which,
did. Yes.
because he didn't actually do anything with it, doesn't count towards the XG.
Yep.
So, in essence, the XG is slightly flawed in that aspect because it only counts from actual attempts on goal and whatever. But it was one of those games where at halftime, no matter what the scoreline was, you wouldn't have been surprised by it, would you?
Yeah.
So, what's thought? I only saw the highlights, so I've got a very limited view on what happened. Obviously, I saw the 2 things off post, and obviously saw some of the other things that happened in the second half. The fact that they sat deep, but for you guys, what was your take from it?
So maybe you and I might say that more or less the same thing. What you had with New York City was very much like a Mourinho style, compact, control the middle type of style.
Park the bus.
They parked the bus and completely. There was no way that DC could truly get in there, and I will say that DC is the team that they try to work the middle.
Yeah.
And in terms of just like they kind of unlocked the secret to how to stop DC is, I think it's work the middle, get into the box, and eventually like find that target man, or maybe get it into a poacher who can get the ball kind of in that traffic.
Yeah.
There's also just the fact that like DC also has a pretty strong counter. I think what you're seeing with Jafal is he is a long ball specialist.
Yeah.
And we did get New York on a few of those situations. The trouble I see is it has to be a shoot on sight type of situation.
Yeah.
If there's a team that sits back, you have to shoot on sight. You have to find early crosses, and you just have to take the initiative. With DC, the other issue is that we are an organized team that, like, if everyone gets in the proper position, they can mark their man and they can close it down.
Apart from set pieces.
Apart from set pieces. But if we get caught in transition, which what happened with the Castellanos goal, Pines got caught in the wash. Whatever guy he was marking, he was not supposed to be marking him. And he and Birnbaum really got stuck together. And Castellanos came in, got the easy header off the cross. And I mean, look, that was just bound to happen.
Absolutely. Tom, over to you now.
Well, I think Daniel basically hit it on the head. I think my main point of it is that we were just looking for a perfect goal.
Yeah.
We were just looking for it to just be perfect in every which way, when sometimes you really just got to go and you just got to hit it.
Yep.
You just got to go for the chances. You never know what could happen. It could deflect, could have a worldie. We've seen some of those before.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, it just wasn't our game, but I'm expecting a better show today.
But what you also got to remember is we played a weekend side as well. And the fact that
that was a B+ squad.
Yeah. And New York City didn't. And they were a championship winning team. And the fact that we actually created quite a lot of chances against a championship winning team with not our main 11, we've got to take some pride from that. Yes, we got beat. But the fact that we were able to do something, and we were so close on 2 occasions, just off the post, we've got to take something out of that.
The other thing, but, to that effect, you have to say that, like, hey, teams have difficulty winning on the road in MLS. And the fact that happened at Audi Field, that's also a credit to New York and how good they are.
I mean, let's put it. I mean, New York to DC isn't, in compared to other teams in MLS, it's not the biggest road trip.
No.
So, we'll put that on. We'll caveat with that.
It's the fact that New York had an actual soccer field to play on that
Zing!
really helped them.
Again, that was mentioned in the Rory Maeda episode. The interview. We talked about stadiums and the fact that New York City did not.
Again, DC. You know, the fact that I brought up bail weeks before that announcement happened.
Yeah.
And then I am mirroring what Moeda's saying. I'm just saying I am employed but available,
Yeah.
and I will just leave it at that.
Well, I know a guy who works on the scouting team now.
Oh, okay.
So,
Yeah,
you know,
do.
I do. And I know he's not related to Eddie Howe. Even though they're both from the South Coast, they obviously have the same surname. They both look so alike,
You want to say
but they're
that,
not related.
That's like a Harks situation. Like-
It really is. Oh, right.
I'm on a roll now. I think
We're on a roll.
I'm thinking I'm bringing it back.
You might get saved for the next
redeemed
episode now.
myself.
You might come on for one more episode now.
Nice.
Yeah. Right. Moving on to today's game against Toronto FC. Some things that are about this game. It's Military Appreciation Night,
Yeah.
where I think it's the first 5,000 fans who get there pick up a military captain's armband, which is quite cool. So we probably should go over there fairly soon and get.
Shout out to South Dakota National Guard. Absolutely.
Yeah?
That's who I support. Shout out to the Navy. Ray, Navy man over here.
Okay, there you
Hell
go.
yeah.
Absolutely. Moving on from military. I mean, I don't know how.
Yeah, we are.
I don't know how to go on it because I'm from the UK, so I don't know what the etiquette is. But
To a certain degree, you could say these kind of look like poppies. I mean, if you turned them red, it would be very on
True.
point like that.
Yeah.
Shout out to the UK military.
Yeah, the Army, the Royal Navy.
Yeah.
You guys stole the Marines from us?
Do we? Good, whatever. Ours are better.
That's probably true. But we did it first.
And we're going to move on from that.
Very quickly.
Yeah, very, very quickly.
Very quickly.
Anyway, DC's current form. We've lost 6 in the last 9 matches, which is pretty brutal. After the start where we won the first 2 games, it's not really been that good since then.
Wow.
What?
The biggest bug.
That's a bug.
That was a bug.
No, that's not a bug.
That was a lizard.
Oh,
That's
it
a
was
lizard. That's a lizard.
He's from South Dakota. He never sees them.
We have a lizard in the building. I should say, not in the building, outside the building, on the deck.
Yeah. Sorry, that
yep.
was
Thank you, Daniel.
weird.
But yeah, form.
Whatever. DC, look, this is a team full of pea and vinegar.
Sorry,
I'm
full
not
of
gonna
what?
I'm not going to say the other
See you
one.
guys later.
This is a Midwesternism right here.
Oh,
Just take the foul version of urine, however you say that, and then
Okay,
add
all right,
vinegar.
okay, yeah, fair enough.
This is what DC is, and I think reviewing what I'm going to be talking about in the DC 101 segment today is that DC is a physical team. They're a hard-nosed team, and look, you can't always take what the form line is telling you, whether it wins, losses, or draws, whatever. This is a team that fights for every single game, and this is going to be. I don't think you can ever count this team out.
Yeah, absolutely. And then moving on to our opposition's form, Toronto, who've currently lost the last 5 straight matches, which is their 4th longest streak. And on top of that, they've not kept a clean sheet in the last 20 matches. And on top of that,
absurd.
only 1 clean sheet in the last 42.
42?
Which is a stretch which goes back to like May of last year.
Yeah.
It's insane.
That's embarrassing.
It's very embarrassing. So, Tom, how many goals was he going to score today?
It's going to be a 3-0 win.
Sweet.
The vibes are too good today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's so much positivity out of today.
The vibes are too good.
I want to also ask you this one. So, Ola Kamara, Gola Kamara, the hype train, he scored 6 goals against Toronto, which is one of the teams that he scored the most goals against, apart from Montreal and one other team. And 4 of those goals have come whilst he's played for DC United.
Interesting.
So how many goals is he going to get today?
I have a weird feeling that we're going to keep rowing on the taxi.
Yeah.
Taxi.
So what would that be? 6 and 6? 6 and
5 and
7?
5.
5 and 5?
Yeah.
Currently, right?
Currently, yeah.
Yep.
And he's
All
got 2 assists.
So let's say Taxi goal, Kamara goal, a Taxi assist, and I don't know, Brad.
You know who I want to see, Scott? Gressel. I want to see
Yeah,
him get a goal.
But he's the guy who makes them.
It's true. But I wonder how sweet would it be if he actually, rather than make one, actually took one for himself.
Like hit a free kick.
No, one-on-one situation, which he seems to miss all the time at the moment.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna jump in real quick, and maybe this is what I need to do from now on with players that are on the outs. But I gotta say that Flores,
Yeah.
you gotta score today. If you
He's
don't
got-
score today,
Well, not.
because I am at a state where I am 5,000% done
Oh no, he's gone the Ola Kamara route.
with Flores.
Well, let's put it this way:
And
the last time Daniel was 5,000% sure about anything, he was 5,000% wrong, and Ola Kamara became almost a top scorer in MLS last season. So, if the same happens again,
I'm
we'll
just
take it.
saying, Flores, I am sitting at about 4,999% done with you right now.
Yeah, you're not quite 5 yet.
So this is the shot right here. You know, if he ends up on the starting sheet,
Which he will.
You know, I want him.
Yeah.
I genuinely I've been critical of him, but I genuinely want Flores to make his mark on this team.
I think everyone wants that. I don't think anyone would disagree with that. We all want Flores to do well, and it's just been the case that so many times I think the bit is he's too slow. He's too slow on the ball. He likes that pace.
So.
Yeah.
It's the fact that I don't know what it is that I think he's expecting someone to be somewhere when they're not. You see it at least twice a game where he passes the ball into open space and there's no one there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the big one for me was when one of your designated players gets put on the bench in exchange for a 17-year-old kid.
Yes.
And he completely outclasses him in that entire game.
Yeah.
Just play with heart, just like throw right in. So, I mean, for me, Edison needs to...
He needs to book his ideas up,
It's now or never for me.
Yeah.
We've had a question about today's game from Cameron. So thank you for sending this in. Do we think Bill Hamid will start? Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He said match day.
Yeah, he did say match day.
Which doesn't promise he's starting. But
No.
I would say he probably is.
The fact that he's getting himself out there usually means he's involved. So, yeah, I mean, he was rested midweek, like quite a few players, and I think that's because it has been a 3-game week. We've had this. Obviously, we would have had notice about the heat wave about this weekend, so you would have rested your key players, which is a bit weird against a championship team, but there we go.
Who was the wrestler who was part of the Wyatt brothers he would tweet out, it's Wednesday night, you know what that means?
Well, it's first of all, it's Jim Ross who does that. Who does that at the beginning of the show.
Yeah.
He goes, "It's Wednesday night, and you know what that means."
But who was the wrestler who would tweet that every time?
I think he died.
He did.
Oh wow.
It was.
Wasn't his real name like Lee or something? I'm sorry.
Brody Lee.
Yes.
Yeah.
Brody Lee. No, Bill Hamid, he called it. It's match day. You know what that means.
Yeah.
He's big. He's green. His name is Bill Hamid. He's bringing it.
I mean, that didn't rhyme at all.
I'll give it a 10 out of 10 for the attempt.
Yeah. Do you want to try that one again?
That's
you're
where
sticking
I'm
with it. You're sticking with it.
at that.
Yeah. I've just had a notification on my phone to say that the game kicks off in 1 minute. I think my phone's forgot to update the time.
Yes.
I was like, we've been here till 6:30.
I mean, that would be amazing. But we are now an hour into social. Thank you if you're still watching, and I thank you to the guys who actually stood up here watching.
If you get there, just tell me.
All right.
So the other thing about they've got 3 DPs. One who actually hasn't permanently signed yet, which is Lorenzo Insigne, which I'm glad we don't have to face him this year.
That one.
Yeah, we're thankful for that. Pozuelo,
He's
He's a very
nice.
good player.
Yeah.
And they've got a DP defender, which it doesn't happen often in this league,
No.
and Carlos Salcedo.
Yeah.
But obviously, the big thing about this year, which you spoke about in MLS 101, which is the Under-22 initiative, they don't have anyone.
No.
Yeah.
Weird.
So they're a bit of an aging squad.
Okay.
So,
Fair.
yeah. So I want to.
Still winning 3-0.
Oh, yeah. So you're going 3-0.
Yeah.
Daniel, what is your prediction?
I want to say a brace for both Ola and Taxi.
So 4?
4. Nice.
What, does it absolute route?
Yeah.
All right.
All right. Yeah.
The DC has look. It's a weird thing. They're in a weird spot, and this is the thing when you're talking about soccer and the way the ball rolls.
Yeah.
Is if you read between the lines, if you read soccer the way it's meant to be read, you can see that score lines never tell the full story of how the match went.
No, not at all.
And this is a squad that when they get on the counter with Jafal and the absolute sniper that he is, and the speed that you have with Gressel on the right, Smith on the left, it's going to be lights out.
Yeah.
This is going to be a bloodbath.
I mean, I would love to have, like it was last season, I have a 7-1.
That would be incredible.
That would be amazing.
I don't know if we're at that level because, I mean, Armas.
We weren't last year.
Look, they don't have Armas, so that is at least an upgrade in that department.
I just remember that. I have Armas.
You have Armas.
He's gone as of tomorrow, thank God.
True.
I mean, Armas is just a woeful manager. Being sacked the day after playing DC United twice is it's not a good record to have.
Wow.
It is awesome. So you're going for a 4-0.
Yep.
I would love a 7-1.
Hey.
7-1. 7-1. We're going to get a 7-1 again. I'm drinking something 6.8%.
Look, if it's 7-1, I would love to have Birnbaum get a nice cheeky header off a set piece.
He is leading in the header duels.
Forrest goal too.
I want to see
him lead goal.
I want to see BHI do his best David Luiz impression. And do
like he did against New York City.
Exactly. About a 20-yard strike outside the box. I want to see that.
Oh, Lizard's here.
So this is where I'm at. I want
Lizard's joined us.
I want every single player on that starting 11 to at least get some sort of look on goal. I'm not saying everyone scores, but I want every single player. I want Bill Hamid at some point to get in the box and get
mute the mic.
And have a shot at it. That's where I'm at.
Yeah.
I want him to do a Tim Howard. I want him to do a Tim Howard box-to-box goal.
James, please move us on quick.
Yeah, right.
This
Anyway,
is where I'm at.
Daniel.
Daniel.
Yeah. Right. I'm going to just move to the comments in the Yep. So we've had a Cameron just saying 7-1 flashbacks, and we've also had a Miller Grouse just saying 2-1 DC.
Yes.
Brian. Yes, sir. What's the score going to be? 2-0.
Okay.
Frank, who is fan of the match, come on
2-0.
in.
2-0 he had on.
So
Hello.
What are you going with?
2-0, Taxi with a brace.
2. There you go. That is from tonight's fan of the match. And we're going for another 2-0. So 2-0 in the crowd here.
My best man giving the 2-0.
2-0. Right. I'm just going to move on to one of the interviews, which means we get to have a little break, which means we can actually go and get a drink.
Real bad right now.
So we're going to actually go on to the interview that I'd done earlier on in the week. I was lucky enough to spend a bit of time at Audi Field, and I got to speak to Sean Howe. So we're going to actually just play the Sean Howe interview. So we'll be back in about 20 minutes, and you guys out there, enjoy. Welcome to the show, Sean. Great to see you. First face-to-face interview that I've ever done, so thank you for taking the time out to come on. How are you doing?
Oh, thanks for having me. Doing great. The season's well underway, so this is the bulk of it. We love.
Yeah.
The part we love.
It is going to. Well, so I suppose it's a bit of a busy period, but then next month is a bit quiet, isn't it?
Yeah, you get the 3-game week this week, and then you go into the international break. In a couple of weeks, you get 2 weeks. Players. We have obviously got some players going away for that, but a little bit of a rest period, certainly for some of the staff. But the boys will keep going. The boys will keep training.
Yes.
And, we'll keep preparing.
Absolutely. So for those who are out there who don't know Sean, just tell us a bit about yourself.
Yeah, so grew up in England. Football's been my life for a long time. From Portsmouth in England, which is the south coast. Grew up there for 17 years. Made the move to the US at 17.
Oh wow!
Yeah, so it was a young time to transition, I guess.
Yeah, definitely.
My parents weren't overly keen on it. Certainly, the mother would like to keep me there for a little bit longer, but no, it was an opportunity I couldn't really turn down to come over, get an education. Kind of fell out of love with football a little bit.
Oh right, okay.
Just the process of youth football.
Yeah.
Just the ups and downs. You're not good enough. You'll never make it. That type of stuff.
Yeah.
So kind of fell out of love with it, but knew that I still wanted to keep playing, but education was a big thing, and an opportunity to come out to the US and do that, play college. I did that. So took that opportunity and sort of loved it ever since. I was in Georgia for 14 years.
Oh wow! Okay.
Yeah, so played in Georgia, and then when Atlanta came about, made the transition into Atlanta, into the MLS club. So my biggest background is coaching. I always loved coaching. I transitioned out of the playing into coaching and loved that more than playing, to be honest with you. Building the relationships with the young players, development of the players, it was what I loved and enjoyed to do. So I did that for a long time.
That's very cool. So what made you then go into scouting?
So the transition into scouting, it kind of came about. It was a little bit of a whirlwind, to be honest with you, because I was really enjoying coaching. I was really enjoying the development of players, and I got all my coaching badges, and I kind of reached that point of, okay, now I'm ready to go and try my luck in sort of the pro game, take the next step. Yeah. But then this job came about with Atlanta United, and it was a scouting role that was, sort of kind of an entry-level role. And actually the first person I met was Lucy Rushton.
Oh wow!
Yeah, so we kind of hit it off straight from the get-go. Went through the process there, and it wasn't something I was particularly looking to get into. It was always something of interest, but it wasn't something I was like, I want to be a scout. Yeah. I started that process with Atlanta, with Lucy. Learned an incredible amount in such a short period, and never looked back since. Really, it's been a really great experience, and it's something I can't see myself not doing anymore.
Nice.
You know what I mean?
That's very cool. So when did you start doing the scouting career then? How long ago was it? So
I was always doing a little bit of scouting at the youth level when I was coaching, because we're always looking to bring in players into your team, improve your team. Yeah. So it was always at from a 10-year-old to an 18-year-old. Yeah. I kind of had a bit of background in that already, and Atlanta United at the time, they were looking to bring in young players and develop them. So it was kind of a nice transition. The scouting piece of it was always there, and I always had a little bit of experience from it. And again, the relationships with the coaching was just,
Yeah, that's cool. So take me through a day in the life of the director of scouting of DC United.
It's a busy one.
Yeah.
It's a busy one. Yeah. We're a small staff. We're a very homey club. Yeah. Between myself, Lucy Rushton, Stuart Mears, and Dave Casper, we kind of attack it all together. Honestly, it's a lot of watching players. It's a lot of watching games. It's a lot of making contact with our contacts, our people that help us in a way that kind of feed us information about players and so on and so forth. And so it's a lot of information collecting. It's a lot of spending some time on the internet. Who's unhappy?
Going through the rumour mills and things like that.
Yeah, but you know what? It's also in the day you're also communicating with our own players. Yeah. How are they feeling? Seeing the relationships between different players within our own squad. When I first got here, I was doing a lot of travelling with the team. Yep. And I wanted to do that because I wanted to see the relationships between the players. Yeah. I wanted to see how we as DC United travelled, what it required to be a DC United player on the road. I was seeing it at home, but what did it mean on the road?
Yeah.
What were our processes? And you see a lot when you go away to these different countries. Some cultures and countries don't quite fit in.
Yeah.
It's just the reality of it. And, some personalities don't fit in our locker room, and so I wanted to find that out. And I thought that was a big piece of it. So, did a lot of that when I first came in, travelled, and so a lot of my time when I first got here was figuring that out. A lot of watching, it's a lot of communication with scouts and other scouts, and just
So when you go through sort of identifying players to potentially bring into the club, what's that process like? Because obviously there's thousands of players out there. So how do you narrow it down to that 2 or 3 where you go, we're going to put a bid in for that player?
There are thousands of players. This is the difficult part, and I think what's helping us now is the data collection and the way that football is going, or soccer is going.
You're fine. You can say football with me. It's okay. We're both English.
The way that football is going is heavily driven with data. We have a data scientist here who's been absolutely fabulous. Recent hire, not too long, and he's been a tremendous help for me. From an identification standpoint, a lot of the identification for myself was going and watching tournaments, the U20 Libertadores and the U17 European Champion, these types of tournaments where you find a lot of games, a lot of players. That being said, the data is again heavily driven. We're picking out profiles that we like, that we feel could fit in our team, and then we use that in terms of data to pick up some others to then go and watch. So it saves myself a lot of time, it saves Stu a lot of time, it saves Lucy a lot of time. We all have other things we need to do. So the data is heavy for us at the moment. But at the same time, when you're talking about narrowing down, we look at our team. We look at our team and we say, where are we strong? Where do we want to use our money this next year? Where are our contracts? We want to try and be smart in that regard. So MLS is very heavy in spending the money in the front 3 or front 4. So we've taken a little bit of a different approach this year, and I think Lucy Rushton's touched on it in the sense of we spent some money at left wing back and at right wing back. We've got some investment there. So we believe in that style, that philosophy. So we're gonna push forward with that. And so when we were looking at that and when we were going through the things with Kevin, it was who was our next guy. We tried to prepare in that manner.
So whose decision was it then to bring in Taxi that little bit earlier?
Well, I think it's just it was a no-brainer for us.
Well, it's been an absolute brilliant start for him. But who's the person who ultimately makes that decision to do that?
So I think ultimately everybody always wanted him from January. And we were pushing to have him from January. Obviously the negotiations between the clubs is always the difficult part, right? They wanted to keep him, they were still in Europe, it was a very difficult one. Ultimately the decision is between the 4 of us, like I said, do we want him now? We want him now. I think obviously then we take it to the owners and say we'd love to have this player now. And so I guess ultimately the decision is the owners. Can we make this happen? And if they're willing to do that, and thankfully they did. And he's lit it on fire since he's got here. Hopefully we can continue that and bring some pieces in to help him.
I don't think he's missed a team of the week in the game that he started yet. He's just been absolutely phenomenal. I know the fans out there absolutely love him, and he's been one of the best signings that we've had. I want to touch on things like the Super Draft because that's something that we just don't get over in Europe or pretty much anywhere else in the world. So were you, or do you get heavily involved in looking at the players from that side, or what's the process on that one?
So to be honest, I kind of come in at the later stages. And given that we have Loudon in the USL, often the path is from college, we want to put them in there. And that goes across MLS. So what ends up happening here is we've got Ryan Martin, head coach of Loudon. He's heavily involved from the very start. Stuart Mayer's heavily involved from the very start. We obviously have our contacts around the whole of college with coaches. So
Yep.
we lean on them a lot heavily. But the process never stops with that.
Okay.
We're lucky to have Georgetown, Virginia, Maryland. We've got some of the best teams in college right around us. So we're very lucky in that. But we lean heavily on the USL guys. We've got some assistant coaches that chip in as well.
Yep.
We get to a point where, we're a few months out and we want to really nail down, okay, positionally what might Loudon need, and then also who are just the best talents. So I think, this past year it was a great process in the sense of we nailed it down to, look, here's the best players, let's all watch them.
Yep.
So every single one of us watch these players.
Wow,
and we
okay.
all come together and we say, right, who's your top? And then we sit for 2 hours and have a discussion on players in terms of what do they bring, what do they have, what do they not have? Are they a DC player in the future? Are they not?
Yeah.
And a lot of it comes down to that sort of strategy as well. I think from a draft standpoint this year, I think we did very, very well. I think we couldn't have hoped for a better result in that. We were lucky in one sense, but we also knew who we wanted, and we got who we wanted. Yeah. And we also got some cash. So
that's never a bad thing. Because in my head I was always thinking about Sofiane Jafal, who's just, again, he's, for me, other than Taxi, he's been the signing of the season. Because when he's come on, he's just got a great engine. His range of passing, I've just been so impressed with. He can just literally find anyone on the pitch. It's just brilliant.
This is a difficult thing of the draft, and this is what's been happening in the trend within the MLS and the draft recently is the internationals get left. Because it's so valuable now. And obviously with the youth initiative coming in, international spots are used there. We think a little bit differently here, and we thought a little bit differently in the sense of, well, if we can hold a spot, we believe in Jafar. We believe that he's got some, Sophie, we call him.
Okay, fair.
We believe that he's got a real talent. One of the things surrounding him was always, as the talk of the town was, does he have enough athleticism to be the MLS player? And I think for us, we watched him and we did our research and we felt, he does. Let's get him in pre-season with the first team. We loved his range of passing. We loved how he saw the game, his speed of thought, and honestly, he's just adapted incredibly well. And I think you get that from a player who's come from a European club. Gone through the system here in college, and his level's never dropped. And his attitude has been second to none, and he deserves every bit of credit he's getting at the moment. He's man of the match the other night. He's just an incredible passer of the ball, and he complements what we already have. Which is nothing but a plus and a credit to him.
Yeah, absolutely. So moving away from sort of talent identification, moving on to match analysis and obviously our upcoming opponents, who's kind of the go-to guy for doing things like that? Who provides those match reports to Chad Ashton and gets all that data gathered?
It's the complete coaching staff. So Freddie Briant's obviously come on recently. Sam Marich is obviously our data guy. Sorry, not our data guy, but does the video analysis. And Luis Guevara as well. So between the two of those, Chad is obviously heavily involved. He did that before under previous management and has been doing it for a very long time. So we're in good hands in that aspect, in breaking down oppositions. I'm in the locker room before the game and I see the game plan, and which helps me obviously in what I want to do, but they go into great detail, and we really do a great job, and our coaching staff really do a great job of breaking down opponents. Throughout the week, they're in that video room that we have at the training ground non-stop. Individual players, Lewis and Sam are both individually talking with the players. Obviously, Nico Frutos has been a big part of that as well. Every single one of those coaching staff is talking with a player in regards to the next game, or even perhaps the previous game. And it's a constant process. It never stops, and it's great to see. Every day at the training ground, it's great to see one of them talking to a player, progressing us as a team, and trying to get us in the right direction.
Nice. So, what else does just a scout, whether that's at DC United or in general, what do they get involved with?
In terms of...
So you've got your player identification, which we've been talking about. We've got the match analysis, which I know some scouts do, but is there anything else that a scout would tend to do?
Yeah, I mean, just general networking.
Yeah.
General networking. Obviously, dealing perhaps sometimes with contracts, financial contracts. You know, doing some. Again, to me, what a scout is it's an information gatherer.
Okay.
It's an information gatherer, and it's somebody who can limit the risk for the club.
Yeah.
In terms of their investment.
Yeah.
So that's kind of how I see it. You know, in other roles, a director of scouting perhaps doesn't go out and watch as much and has a team of scouts underneath that they manage.
Yeah.
I enjoy that part of it.
Yeah.
I enjoy that part of it a lot. I would never want to take that away from what I do.
Yeah.
So, you know, again, it's all encompassing, and again in the DC, it's all encompassing anyway. We all pull our weight, and we dip into different things and help each other out where we can. So it's really limitless, to be honest with you.
Nice.
As a scout.
Yeah. So you're always kept busy then?
Yeah, I always kept busy, but I enjoy being busy. Busy is good.
Yeah.
Busy is good, and you never can never leave any stone unturned, I guess is the best way to put it with scouting.
Yeah.
Because you have moments where you say that player's for us. How did we not find him, or what was our process like?
Yeah.
To where we didn't. So we're always analysing ourselves, analysing the process to figure it out.
Nice. So I think I wouldn't be forgiven if I didn't ask this next question, which is not on the list that I showed you earlier. But obviously we're looking at filling that third DP.
Yep.
You've been around Europe. Obviously that's kind of the goal in terms of the players. Is there anything that you can kind of give us, any nuggets of information about who or where they're going to be coming from, or how far away are we from getting that third DP?
Yeah, look, the window opens up July 7th.
Yeah.
So we have a little bit of time. I think the important thing for us was that we wanted to get Taxi in through the door.
Yeah.
We wanted to see how Taxi interacted with our current players. So that was our most important thing. That was what we wanted to see first.
Yeah.
In terms of moving forward, we do have that third DP spot. Now, we've worked diligently. Every day, conversations between the four of us, as I've said.
Yeah.
Positionally, we really feel like we need a creator.
Okay.
So,
yep.
That's not to say that we don't have creators in the team already.
Yeah.
But we feel that to take ourselves to the next level, to impact games, we need a creator. So we've been heavily looking into players, and we want a game changer. This club has had Wayne Rooney.
Yeah.
This club has had Lucho Acosta. We're talking about top players.
Yeah.
So we're looking in that range. We've been to South America. We've been to Europe. We've done our homework in both. So what we'd really like in our squad is some real experience. We'd like some real experience. Someone who's been there and done it, and a player that people can look at and go, he's a game changer.
Yeah.
He's scary. He's
nice.
He's top 5 in the MLS. So, to give you a tidbit there, these are the ranges we're looking at.
Fair.
But at the same time, they've got to be right, because our philosophy is sometimes with these players, you may get some things in terms of defensively that don't work, right?
Yeah.
And so we have to figure out a player who's going to work for us, because that is our philosophy here.
Yeah, it's high energy, high press.
Exactly.
You need a lot of energy to get through that game. Yeah.
And you need 11 players all rowing in the same direction.
Yeah.
And I think that's the beauty of Taxi.
Yeah.
And I think this is one of the things that we touched on is with Taxi, he has quality, he's been around Europe, and he will work his socks off for the team.
Yeah.
And I think you've seen that, and I think we're going to continue to see that. And again, I'll come back to it with the character in the dressing room. It's huge.
Yeah.
It's huge for us, and so we've done a lot of work in terms of who's the best character for this dressing room.
Yeah.
We want a guy who has a personality and a presence. And again, to come back to Taxi, he's come in and been absolutely fantastic. He's in that dressing room. He's a jokester. His English is getting better every day.
I was about to say, it has the language been a barrier for him yet?
Everybody has a nickname to Taxi, and it's very simple, but it's great banter.
Yeah.
The guys love him. The guys love him. He loves the guys. It's been a really when you talk about getting it right. We're hoping this continues. But he, in terms of personality and in terms of the work rate, it's all you can really ask of a player.
Yeah.
And he's come and brought a new light to this team, which has been great.
Yeah, fantastic. Just kind of one sort of final question really is, for those who out there who might have not even thought about scouting or actually have thought about scouting, what would be your one bit of advice for them to get into that sort of career?
Yeah, it's a difficult one to get into, and I find myself very lucky that I had the opportunity to do that.
Yeah.
Because you've got, I've spoke with many people about this. You can sit and you can analyse games and players, and ultimately every team and every club analyses players differently.
Yeah.
Reads reports differently. We're a club that I don't need 5 pages of reports on a player. I need short, sweet. Let's move on.
Straight to the point.
Yeah. Whereas I've without mentioning some clubs, I've spoke to some scouts that work for some big clubs, and they need to write 5-page reports, and you're talking a lot of information. They have the ability to do that.
Yeah.
So to get to the point, it's a very difficult thing to get into, but where I would start is breaking down players from a very granular level.
Yeah.
And again, you can do it from pick a team. Pick the team you support. For instance, pick DC United. Break down each player. What are their strengths? What are their weaknesses? Who complements who? And break it down from an individual player standpoint, but also from a team standpoint, in that, well, those two don't quite connect because of these 2 reasons.
Yeah.
And start logging things like that. Start reaching out. Start networking with people. It's difficult, I know. I have many people reach out to me about, can I connect on how I can get involved, and it's very difficult time-wise to offer that all the time. But try.
Yeah.
Try it. Open yourself out. Reach out. Really network with people. Ask for some feedback. You can never learn too much information. And one of the guys I look heavily up to is the guy at Sevilla, Monchi. So there's videos out there on YouTube that you can watch where they show you their process, and you can never do too much research, right?
Yeah.
So I'm forever learning, and for me it's about learning and then just networking, because that's where the opportunities come.
Yeah.
You put yourself out there. A lot of guys have gone the Twitter route, right?
Yeah. They
put their information out there on Twitter, and some is great to read, some you're looking at it going, oh, okay, but scouting can be very simple.
Yeah.
Scouting can be very simple, but that's where I would start. Do your research, do your information, and really network with some people that are already in the game and can give you some feedback.
Awesome. Well, thank you very much for that. I appreciate it. And we'll go back to the show. There we go. Fab. Thank you. Well, we are back now. So, yes, Tom, we are back. I know you've got a beer in hand. So you've took that time, got the red stripe. Daniel has got his snood on, which thank you to Jim for donating those to yourself and Tom. So you've both got one now. It is a bit hot. I mean,
it hides my double chin, so I'm into it. That's a good idea.
Wow, that's what we've gone to now. We've just had a yacht go past. It's beautiful. We've just been able to actually mill around with the crowd. It's such a good atmosphere here down at the Screaming Eagles tailgate. I'm really excited about going over to the stadium now, aren't we?
This just brings me back to the lot 8 days. And just to preview, this is going to be talking about the old RFK days, the good old days. Yeah. I love being just with the supporter groups right now and just hanging out. This is so good.
Indeed. Right. So we've only got a couple more things that we need to go through. One of which is your MLS 101 for today. And we're just going to wrap things up, I think. So Daniel, you're ready with your MLS 101.
All right. Do we have?
We need to play the intro.
Okay.
Don't forget about that. Tom, get yourself with the gate timer ready.
Okay, fair enough.
Oh, look at that. Beers are arriving for Daniel. I know there's not a beer for me, but we'll allow it. I forgot my water.
See, now that you're doing that, I'm not going to offer to open it to you.
I got it.
He's got it. He's got it open. He's been struggling. Right, so we're going to play the MLS 101 little intro.
Nice.
Cool. So, what is MLS 101 about today, Daniel?
God, that song intro hits different today.
The fact that we're
feels
live.
so good.
Yeah.
That is real good. Today we're bringing it back to the RFK days.
Okay.
But the real RFK days, the 2004 RFK days.
So the MLS Cup season.
Specifically, I am talking about the Rumble at RFK.
Yes. What a game.
This is pure footy, because finals are great, but it's all about that semifinal lifestyle, my man. So we are getting into it. Tom's got
a timer ready. Do you want us to give you the countdown?
Yeah, I don't want him to give out too much.
Yeah, right. So do you want me to count you in?
Yes, count me in, baby.
Get ready, Tom. In 3, 2, 1.
Okay, so the thing you have to know about the Rumble at RFK is that it was an era of MLS before Sir David Beckham graced America with his Calvin Klein undies. Before the expansion boom, MLS was a tight league full of teams that had nothing but grit, vinegar, and hair. This is a time when the league had real parity, a mid-market sides like Columbus Crew and KC Wizards finishing at the top of their respective conferences, in fact, sharing points. However, it's being a supporter, season winners would thwart the efforts that hard-scrabbled New England Revs made in the playoffs by the skin of their teeth. I mean, literally, it was between them and Chicago at the end of the season there. This is before soccer-specific stadiums became a big imperative, and DC was firmly planted at RFK Stadium. Led by head coach Peter Novak, the retired MLS great, United was stacked with club legends like Aleko Eskandarian, who was an absolute sniper with his left foot. DC also had the explosive Ernie Stewart, the flashy rookie Freddie Adu, Ben Olsen, Mike Petke, Christian Gomez, Nick Raimondo, and last but not least, my man's
Bosco. I'm just going to go Bosco.
Jaime Moreno.
Jaime Moreno, yeah. It was Bosco 2008, wasn't he?
While the MLS Cup was decided with an exciting 3-2 win by United, 2004 was truly a proper footballing season, with the Eastern Conference Final considered one of the best games in MLS history. It would have reached historic status on the fact that it was a 6-goal slugfest alone. But you also had two teams that were full of big names, big personalities, and big hitters. New England brought its share of hugely influential players as well. This team included the likes of Taylor Twelveman, Steve Ralston, and Clint Dempsey. What defines this game the most is how physical it was. Within the first minutes of the match, Jaime Moreno was literally booted in the chest by Shalry Joseph while the ball was ping-ponging around midfield. And within minutes of that happening, DC United's Josh Gross, who was called Sarge because he was heading to the Marine Corps after that season, paid Joseph back with a gnarly tackle that smashed Joseph right in the calf, like shin, calf, nearly broke his leg. It was gnarly. The game itself was so physical that New England forward Pat Noonan said in a recent retrospective that if VAR was around at that time, the game would have ended 8-8. It was the physicality, the big names, and the sense of having something to prove between these two teams that put together. The game was a true powder keg. Every time DC United scored, New England had an answer. At halftime, both teams came away with 2 goals apiece. But by the end of full time, the game was tied 3-3 thanks to an 85th minute goal by New England's Pat Noonan. After a cagey extra time period, the game came down to penalty kicks. After an opening round, which neither penalty taker scored, 5 consecutive penalties were scored to give DC a 3-2 lead. The fourth round was shot by Jay Heaps for New England, saved by Raimondo, but the follow-up, Moreno, was saved by Reese, who put in the Revolution from being eliminated. New England's Shalry Joseph scored his penalty to trigger a sudden death round, which saw Brian Carroll score and Clint Dempsey shot saved by Nick Raimondo. The penalty shootout ended in a 4-3 victory to DC United, who clinched an appearance in their first MLS Cup final of the new millennium. And that, my gents, is the robot
Absolutely
RFK.
crushed it, yeah.
At one point you start speeding, and I was like, dude, you have 2 minutes.
It's just like,
You have so
I've noticed, ever since the first episode that you did the MLS 101, you just go full pelt with everything. It's like, dude, slow down.
This is where I'm at.
Have a breath.
I love this stuff.
Yeah.
I love just because in a sense, like I said earlier, like, you know, kind of DC United, those heydays was kind of before I came around.
Yeah.
So I love being kind of a student of DC United, of those early days, and I just love it.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you, Daniel, for this week's MLS 101. We're going to play the outro. Well, we are almost at the end of the show.
Hop on a jet ski?
Yeah, we've just had a cop on a jet ski.
Don't see this in Middlesbrough.
You definitely don't see this in Middlesbrough, the River Tees. I mean, you'd probably get poisoned if you did that on the River Tees.
I mean, I'm not going to say the river here is that great either.
Oh no,
but
it's less brown than it is at the borough.
Fair.
So that shows you the quality of the water up north.
Thank you, Margaret Thatcher.
Why did you have to bring her up?
Always.
There are certain lines.
There are certain lines, and mentioning any Tory MP or PM is off the table. We don't mention any of those.
We just pretend they don't exist.
Yeah, we've been trying to do that for the last 10 years with the Conservatives, and they just stick around for some reason. So, well, the last section of the live stream. Unless there's any you guys have got any questions?
Oh, any questions? Yeah.
Any questions? Hi. Not too bad, thank
What's
you.
the thing from the Holy Guard? What is your name?
What is your favorite color?
What is?
Black or red?
Oh, red. All day.
Well, let's have a little look. We did actually have a question come in, which I've not gone through yet.
Okay.
Which
okay,
is,
let's do it.
Rafa Romo, does he have the potential to succeed Bill Hamid or not?
No.
Oh, that was an easy answer. Jesus. Don't even think about it.
No, with a very big period at the end of it.
Yeah. No? Any particular reason why?
Because no. Bill Hamid is a staple of the DC United team and will always be a staple of the DC United team. The 1 year he spent away from us, he was still on the DC United team.
Oh, yeah, to be fair. He was, yeah, cool. Daniel, any other thoughts on that?
No, I mirror that completely.
Yeah, fair.
Boom.
And to be fair, yeah. So the performance against New York City where that set-piece goal, he really should have done better with that. It was, even if he just used his feet to clear it.
I'm not going to write him off after one.
No. Oh, no.
I mean, he's a better, here's my...
Oh, we got another cop. Cop in a boat this time.
I got to run. I got to go.
I mean, a man who wears shades on a podcast is always suspicious.
It's not INS, you're okay.
Tell me, I was going to say, tell me if they turn. All right.
They just turned.
I'm not going to write him off completely just yet. I think he would be a better backup. And here's my weekly Kempin dig.
Yeah.
I think it'd be much better than Kempin because, come on. But
Kevin has style.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
But no. Not near Bill.
Well, I mean, that was the only question that we had. So.
All right.
Oh, Brian has got a question. Go for it.
So, who will win a championship first or a cup first? Will it be DC United or England winning the World Cup?
England winning the World Cup.
Hey.
When you ask the two guys from
Cut them.
The MLS championship before England takes the World Cup.
So are we winning it this year then?
That's not even a question. That's not even a question.
So
we put a live bet on this.
So
yeah.
Oh,
$20? $20?
Hey, $20.
I'm not betting on anything.
$20.
No. This is not a handshake. This is not a handshake.
Cool. Well, England's winning it in Qatar.
Yeah, cool.
Absolutely
We figured that one out.
They're laying an egg again.
No.
We'll see if the U.S. can get out of the group stages.
Oh.
I mean, once we beat you.
Looking to make it this time, actually.
No, I'm going to call it. Scotland has a better chance of making it into the playoffs than England does.
Really?
Scotland versus England in the Euros was terrible.
They've got to get past Wales first.
Daniel, they're just mad because they've never beat us.
True. Truly. That's okay. They're just upset.
Have you won them? Oh, I'm going to say, have you won a World Cup? You're going to be like, we won 4 of them.
Have you won anything this century?
Oh, no.
No. No, but we have been to 2
We're
finals.
on even ground. We're on even ground. We're good.
Wait, did you invent the game?
I mean, America.
Actually, no,
did invent
Scotland
soccer,
did.
So
Scotland
No.
invented
They
stuff.
just called it soccer.
Yeah.
And they took
Oh.
okay.
an actual question?
Okay, hand the mic over. Hand the mic over.
That was a dig.
Hand the mic over.
Do you think the interim head coach should stay on for the rest of the season?
Okay.
That's a good question.
I say yes.
It all depends. And now we've got just a distraction. Just whilst we get a chance to think about the answer. Fireboat.
Firemen on boats.
Yeah. I mean, if you need water to put out a fire, the river is a great place.
Fire and they just like paddle the water out.
And
Wait, are we playing Chicago today?
hey, you see what he's done there? You see what he's done there? So Chad Ashton, he had a decent record first time he was interim coach.
Yeah.
He's actually not had a bad record this time around so far. I would say if he continues doing well by the end of July, then yeah, absolutely. But if things go a little bit sour, we will seriously need to think about getting a new coach in.
Agreed.
I want to see what happens to Leeds United and then have Jesse Marsh come in.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Is that an actual serious answer?
That's an actual serious answer.
Jesse Marsh.
I respect.
He's at Leeds United, but they're going to get relegated.
This weekend.
Yeah.
No, I'm serious. If that is a possibility at all, he's a coach I deeply respect. But also all respect to Chad Ashton as well. So if it turns in fact that like he can lead this team to good results and can give this a team a playoff push,
yeah,
I'd be all for him. But if it just turns out that we have to look elsewhere. And if I were to have like my field, that would be a coach I would go for.
Fair enough. Like I said, I'm willing to give him until the end of July. And if things, like I said, do turn sour, I would want us to have a new coach put in place.
Yeah.
And it's also a good time to look at new coaches just because it's the end of the seasons over in Europe. You're gonna have sackings and you're gonna have people who are going to be available. So, what better time to actually start looking at potential new coaches than then?
Yeah.
Follow-up question with that then. We're
Yeah.
going to go with a new coach. I mean, we're going to get a new DP probably in the summer.
Yeah, I mean,
You wanna-
in the Sean Howe interview we just had on the show there, he was talking about how we're looking in Europe at the moment for the third DP.
We like Europe.
So it'll be interesting to see who we do get. And no names were mentioned, but very interesting to see who we could get in.
But in that regard, wouldn't you want to have a new coach to make that decision on that new DP?
So again, just to kind of reiterate what Sean was saying, and when I spoke to him yesterday, is the things that they look at when they look identifying players is they look at the personality of the squads, not just the skills, but they look at actually who will get on, who will fit the team dynamic, and that is a big thing. So Sean spent so much time just with the team, just to see who got on with who. If you look at, if you need someone on the left side, who's going to click with Brad Smith?
Yeah.
Who's going to click with Gressel on the right? Who's going to click with Knaus in the middle? You need those types of players who will make the team better, not just on the pitch, but also off the pitch as well.
And am I an idiot for saying this? But does this player in a way have to be a European national? So
No, not at all.
If anything, kind of looking at the Norwich situation, could it be a Josh Sargent?
Very well could. That would be quite cool.
I didn't think about Josh.
Yeah. I mean, they are looking at a creator.
Okay, that's good.
James, just tell us who it is.
I genuinely I don't know. Sean didn't tell me who it was, but
James is just like, find out next week.
Who is going to be our Andrea Pirlo?
I mean, he's been looking at South America.
His name's Jafal.
He's been looking. Yeah, I mean, Sophie Jafal has played
Yeah.
incredibly. For me, he's along with Taxi. He's been signing of the season.
Yeah, he's been my favorite player that's not named Taxi.
Yeah, 100%. But yeah, it's going to be interesting. We're going to get, but we are going to sign a DP this summer.
That's exciting.
So I'm really looking forward to who that's going to be. But the window doesn't open until July 7th, so we've got a little bit of time to wait. But it's going to be interesting.
Speculate.
Yeah, we will speculate.
This is fun. This is the best part of
Could it be Gareth Bale?
You know what? I think what we're talking about, where we want to have as much speed and as much skill on the flanks as possible. That's who I would go for.
Yeah.
I think the middle is solid.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna start sending him golf places here.
Every time he tweets, I'm gonna start going after him. So
Just tweet the link to all the courses in DC. Just that.
Yep.
Nothing else. So, okay. Let's move on to the last bit of the show,
Okay.
which is the who. The Argentinian.
Uh-huh.
Argentinian. Well, I mean, he's shot. I mean, everyone's shot compared to
What
me.
era he played in?
No, because that would give it away.
I tried.
He's played for DC United twice. He's made over 100 appearances, scored over 40 goals for the club. I'm going to go to you, Tom. Who do you think?
So I looking back, not a
Tom, have
lot
you
of-
thrown your voice?
There's not a Argentinians who had multiple spells. at
Yeah,
DC United
and he's a as well.
as a midfielder.
We had one, which I still say I got that one right. Whereas the little, what's his name? He played in midfield was Argentinian. He played Cam. Have we done the same player?
No, I checked. I think I haven't done him.
So I'm gonna throw it out,
Yeah.
and I want to say Yamil Assad.
Okay,
I also agree with Yam.
I mean it's not Yami Al-Assad.
If it's a cost, I'm gonna shoot myself.
It is Christian Gomez.
Wow! I even talked about him.
Yeah, you mentioned him. Like he's gonna get this one. You mentioned him.
I'm gonna pass this on, and I'm gonna go think about my actions.
Christian Gomez.
I will.
To give back my DC United card.
Season.
I've done about 4.
Yeah.
Maybe more.
Well, there we go. It is the end.
You guys have an airport to get to. Get going.
Apparently.
Oh, you do? I'm going to stay a little bit longer. I'm going to the game. I don't know about you. Yeah, we've obviously got the game to go to now. So it is, unfortunately, the end. I feel like I don't want to end it, but we need to end it because we've got places to be.
I'm going to, just real quick, because I know
you're not doing any shout out just yet.
Can I do the shout outs without doing the bit this time? Because I got a couple.
I'll let you do one.
Can I just
Just let him do it.
Okay, real quick, Adrian, I love you. And two, Sioux Falls City FC has their inaugural match tonight. They're on the road. Good luck to the girls. This is going to be great. Love the fact that we're going to enjoy a full season with them.
Yes, absolutely. I definitely wasn't going to cut you off from that one.
Shout out to Asian as well. We also love her, even though we never met her.
Yeah, absolutely.
And shout out to Man United for breaking my heart every week.
I mean, I have to then have a shout out to my wife, who's back at home in England, looking after my son, who's has got the chicken pox. So fair play, and I'm protecting the keyboard.
Hit the Vamos United, and then I'll try to be as quick as possible.
But yes, we always do end. Tom, where can people find you on social media?
I changed it to DC UK Unfiltered.
Yeah.
Where I like to complain about my sporting life.
And that's on Twitter.
And that's on Twitter.
Yeah.
And complain about American politics.
Yeah. And then Daniel?
Find me at Professor DC UK.
Yes.
I'm the bean side of soccer. Nothing makes sense. Don't follow me.
No, don't. I mean, you went through a time where you were just doing anime with players' heads on it. What the heck?
That'll be coming back soon enough.
Nice. Yeah. And for me, if you're not following on Twitter, it's at DC United Kingdom. It's Facebook and Instagram. It's DC UK FC. And come and join us at DC UK in the Spot Group chat. Obviously, Brian over here is in there. And you guys are obviously in there. Just go to DC United Kingdom membership. Well, that is it. Brian has got his shirt on. Do you want to come around and show it off?
Please do. Yes.
Look at that. I mean, you might have to crouch down a little bit. There we go. There we go.
Beautiful.
And you can obviously get any of these jerseys that we've got here. So, indeed, you're actually wearing merch for once. And to be fair, you brought the flag, which you can't really see in shot, but
I'm really glad I packed that massive flag for
it's
no reason.
Huge.
Absolutely. I mean, I'm just going to jump off the building and paraglide home on it.
Why not? Cheaper than an Uber.
Yeah, it's cheaper than an Uber.
But yeah, that is the end of the show. Thank you guys for making this an absolute blast. It's been fantastic.
Super fun.
It's super.
Now we need is a win.
We do. So I'm going to obviously end it with until next time.
Vamos United. And eat at Tisha on the Hill.
Damn it.
Oh, wait, I got you.